As I was meditating about this message, I figured, we don't have a lot of opportunities to address specific issues like this, being single and what to do and how to do it the right way. Because, I don't know about you, I wasn't always a pastor, I wasn't always a Christian. And, we didn't know. I never thought you could be married to one person, and be happy. That didn't make no sense to me. When they first said, you're going to have one wife, I said, one? When I like King Solomon, he got 1,000. They said, no, that's the Old Testament. We're in the New Testament. I said, oh, well, I like the Old Testament. Oh, I can't be real? Okay, if we can't be real, then we're not going to have church tonight. Come on. Look at your neighbor and say, don't be religious, man. This is going to be real. I never met anyone who got really married. It was more like, let's live together for a while. Let's check it out, see if it works. A couple years later, never mind. Next one. Come on. That's all I knew. So when I came into the Christianity and the Bible, it was like, oh, Jesus, I can't do this. This is, I'll just quit now because this ain't going to happen. But I found out that God actually can help you to live the Bible life. And I found that there's a strength and a power and an ability and a grace from God that can actually change you and even change your desires, change your thinking, change your approach to singleness and understanding what it is and the value of it, and changing the approach of marriage and how to raise children and everything, finance, life, and you begin to change. And so I had to learn, when I came to God from a wild lifestyle, real wild child there. Whittier boy. Come on, somebody. And I had to learn a new way of living. And it wasn't easy, but I've been able to do it. And now I've seen the results of doing it God's way versus my old way and the way of all my friends. All my friends, everybody who hadn't done God's way, they're divorced 2, 3 times, 4 times. Everything's messed up in their lives. They have to get high to be happy. They have to take pills to wake up, pills to go to bed. They're all stressed out because they're not doing it God's way. The kids are messed up. The wife's messed up. The husband's messed up because they're not doing it God's way. They're only doing it the way we were always taught. But see, my parents were divorced. Their parents were everyone's messed up. So there's no model. And if there's no model, we just keep reproducing the curses of our parents. And even sometimes even our grandparents. And so somebody in the family has to step up and create a new model and break the curses that have come on. Because the Bible says you can be married to one person for the rest of your life and be happy and blessed with that person. Listen, marriage is not hard. That's a lie. I'm married 16 years in about a month. It has been easy. Why? Because his burden is easy and his yoke, oh, I'm preaching already. See, something just broke off somebody. Some of you are like, easy? Yeah, it's easy if you do it right. Jesus said it this way, take my yoke upon you. And here it is, learn from me. That's the key. And if you're going to learn from somebody, they say, if you want a teacher, then you have to become a student. And when you become a student, the teacher will manifest. And Jesus said, I want you to come and learn from me. Learn from me. And that's humility. That's me saying, man, I never believed that, or I ever thought you can have one person and be happy. But I'm going to learn from you, Lord, because you say that's the way to do it. You say, don't have sex before marriage. What? I got to try it before I buy it. What if I don't like it? I can't turn it in. See, the mind is jacked up. It's cochino. Come on, somebody. See, all y'all smiling like, he didn't just say that, did he? Yes, I did. You can learn 2 ways. You can learn it the hard way, or you can learn it the easy way. You're going to learn. And God is saying, why don't you come and learn from me about being single, about marriage, about family. Not Tio and Tia. Not Uncle Chewy. Come on, somebody. Come on. Not Uncle Ken on his third girl. Come on, somebody. Because some of your families think they know, like, hey, you need to do this. And you're like, be careful who you learn from. Because listen, you want to learn, before you want to learn from somebody, you want to look at their fruit. You say, do I want my end to look like your end? If not, you could talk, but I'm not really going to listen. Because if I listen to you, I'm going to end up like you, and I don't want to be like you. So I'm going to go learn from, come on, somebody. I'm going to learn over here because I want to be like that. That's why you're here. So Jesus said, come. And this is an invitation. And he said, learn from me. Imagine God is willing to tell you, somebody like me, a little knucklehead, travieso, drug dealer, madman from Gadara, demon-possessed, with all kinds of demons, and just going nowhere, just an idiot, the biggest fool of them all. And Jesus, God says, nobody else wants you? I'll take you. Sounds like a good deal. Some of you got left, you were cheated on, your heart was broke, and they threw you out like Eazy-E. They threw you in the gutter to go get another. And it broke you. And you feel like worthless, you're beautiful or handsome, and people say how handsome or beautiful you are, but you don't feel that way because you got the curse words of some idiot in your head. But the Lord says, don't worry about those idiots. You come and learn from me now. We're going to have a new relationship. I'm going to tell you you're amazing. I'm going to tell you you're made in my image. I'm going to tell you I have a plan and I have a purpose and I have a destiny. And no matter what you've gone through, you're not a product of the pain of your past. You're a product of my purpose and my blood. Come on, shout like God has a plan for your life. You got to build your faith in the area of believing that God has someone perfect for you. Now, I'm assuming everyone here wants to get married. Now, there's some people that say, I don't ever want to get married. It's just because there's two reasons people say that. I'll never want to get married. One of them is, well, there may be more, but this is the main two ones I see. God gives them a grace, and they're just like, I don't need it. I'm good. Like Paul had a grace and a gift, and people have that, and it's great. Amen? Some of you are like, I don't have that fast. You're like, Lord, don't. Listen. Because I remember one time I was all on fire for God. I'm like, God, I don't care. I want you to never get married. I just want to serve you. And the Lord's like, I didn't ask you to do that. Because it wouldn't be so hard for you. Come on, somebody. And I was like, thank you. Come on. I really didn't want to be alone forever. But some of you are not like freaking out because maybe you have that grace. Probably one out of maybe one. And that's all good. Say that's all good. And then there's a few other you here that I'll never get married. It's because you're bitter. You've been hurt. And we got to get you better. Because it's God's will to give you the perfect one for your life. God has someone perfect for you. A perfect fit. It's like perfect fit. Like perfect. And you could tell when it's not a perfect fit. Now the Lord didn't, the Bible said what the Lord joined together. I think some people are joining together and the Lord was never doing it. They're 10 years in going talking about, wow, this is hard. Yeah. But the Lord can, fix it. It's going to be painful, but he can fix it. Not too many claps because you're all single. How you're like, well, I left that. I'm ready to go. Okay, you got a clean slate, baby. Let's do it right. All right. Can we keep going? Because I'm running out of time here. All right. Ephesians said it this way in chapter 5:17. He said, do not be unwise. Look at your neighbor and say, don't be unwise. Now, I want you to tell your neighbor, say, what does that mean to you? If somebody walked over and said, you're not wise. Look at your neighbor. I'm going to see you go, help me pray. What does that mean to you? Yeah, tonto, idiot, fool. Look at your other neighbor and say, what does it mean to you? To be unwise. Do not be unwise, but understand or know what the will of the Lord is. And when it comes to who you're going to marry, you definitely don't want to be unwise. You don't want to walk down the aisle talking about, I think so. I hope so. Actually, I'm not even sure. And you like shaking, and everyone's crying, and you crying because you don't know. Like, I don't. The devil is a liar. Somebody say, I'm not going to be foolish. I'm going to know that I know that I know that's the one for me. Now I got to settle this, because, sometimes it's funny to me. We'll get like a pretty girl or a handsome guy, and 10 guys are, say, I'll just get one girl. I got like 10 guys have already come up to me. Man, that's the one. I said, well, you got to get in line. Because all these jokers thought they heard the Lord too, so so you can't be out claiming people, you know what I mean? Like, I claim, you ain't no claiming. You single, everyone's available. Until you got one of these, everybody's available. Look at your neighbor and say, he's talking to somebody up in here. Because some people think they can lock you down. Ain't nobody locked down until you got one of these, baby. Like Beyonce, you better put the ring on it, baby. Come on. This one's from Jerusalem. It spins. It says, my beloved is mine and I'm my beloved's. Yeah. Jerusalem. All right, now. So, are you good? So, the first thing you have to understand is if you want to find out what God's will for your life is in marriage, like the one the Lord has, then you have to find out who you are first. Right? Especially if you're a man. Because one of the, oh God, I need 3 hours with you. Okay, so if I got to do a class in Bible college on this single, how to be single. So, if you're a man, you're the head of a house one day. You're going to be the head of the house. And your wife is going to submit to you. That's why some of you ain't never getting married. Because you're like, I ain't submitting to no man. He going to be under. Learn from me. Well, that's point number. All right, we ain't getting there tonight. I'll tell you that. We're barely on. We got some jacked up folk here tonight. I can't even get past one here. My God. It's all good. Okay. Now, I'm just kidding. Now, so if you're a man, you're the head of a house. And you're talking about that woman, you better submit to me. Well, the word submit means submission. So she's like, okay, I'll submit. Women are built to submit. God built in them to have a husband. So they want to submit, support. I know nowadays everyone's, but this is what the Bible said now. You see how tense it gets? How you gonna hold me back, trying to stop my dream? Come on, diva. You got to be cool. I'm trying to help y'all, but you don't want to learn from me. You want to. That's all your craziness talking. But if you search your heart, it's in there. Because God put it in there. Doesn't mean you can't be a leader and none of that, but God made you to submit to a man, a husband. Well, the poor guy has to lay down his life and die for you, so it works out. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Hold on. You're pulling on me too much. Some of you have been reading the whole message and you're pulling on me. All right, listen. Some of you control freaks, you read the whole message. Like, okay, I know where Jesus, help us. Okay. I know where he's going. I know what he's going to say next. We don't really want you to go there. Okay. So, as a man, you have to have a vision. So when she comes into your vision. And then, but if you have no vision, and it's time to, like, we're going to court, we're going to date, we're going to take the next step. It's like, she's like, okay, where are we going? And you're like, I don't know, girl. I'm cute. I mean, where are we going? You got money? I'm cute. You got a good job? I'm cute. Come on, somebody. You got a house? I'm cute. Oh, Lord. So you, come on, Timothy, I'm preaching now. Come on, somebody. You got to have a vision for your life, for your finance, for where you're headed. God's plan for your life. You got to have a vision. You got to know what God's called you to do and be. Because then at what point are you going to find a helpmate? If there's an assignment on your life, then okay, there's a dream on my life, then God's going to bring me the helpmate, and together she'll have the same dream. Because God put it in her before we even met. That's why on our first date, the first thing I said, what does God call you to do? She said, a missionary to Africa. I said, well, I'm a missionary to LA. Same thing. Come on, let's go. Come on, somebody. Hey, and now we're all over the world. I told you. So you got to know God's will. So I don't know God's will. Well, we know the biblical, God's will is for you to save souls and make disciples. Everybody. So start there. And some of you are running away from that. Then when it's time to get married, you're the blind leading the blind. See, God made it this way. I'm a soul winner. That's my number one calling. I'm a disciple maker. My wife's number one calling, soul winner, disciple maker. I'm training my kids. That's what we do. That's who we are. Why? Because Jesus said it out of his mouth. Come learn from me. He said, I'm leaving. Now I want you to go preach, save souls, make disciples. That's not for preachers. That's for every Christian. And if you're not in that place in life, then you have to prepare yourself and let him teach you, set you free, deliver you, so you can be qualified to become a soul winner, disciple maker. Why? That's God's will. Don't be unwise. Encounter time? You want to close it? Okay. Because we haven't even started. Once you're walking out the basic will of God, then you begin to step into the perfect will of God for your life. The good, the acceptable, then the perfect will of God. And that's the assignment on your life. My assignment, my grace is apostolic, full-time ministry. Now, a lot of people are not called into full-time ministry, but you may be called to run a business. You may be called as a lawyer. You may be called as an educator. You have your career calling. That's God putting that on your life. And then you step out into that, and then God brings you somebody who has the same value system, and you guys are going in the same direction. Now, that right there is a lot for a lot of you, because some of you just clocked out. I was trying to get. And that's the way I was when I first stepped into this. Like, this is God's will for your life, and I'm like way over here, going like you just did. But this is where he says, come learn from me. And little by little, he brings you higher. That's why a lot of you are single, because God's trying to spare you a traumatic 3 years. That's what happens. People get married in their first 3 years. Most of them don't make it. Because it was all emotion. Like, you're cute, I'm cute, you like Disney, I like Disney. You like that too? So do I. You like enchilada? Oh my, you like pho? Me too. Oh my God, you like sushi? No way. And a year later, you're like, I don't like your sushi. I never liked your sushi. I lied. Because that's not the kind of love we're talking about. There's nothing wrong with that, but that won't last. Now, I want you to say this with me. Say, God has a plan for my life. That plan is to save souls and to make disciples. God also has another plan for my life. My life calling. Look at your neighbor and say, what is your life calling? Oh, Rabashaka. I guarantee you 89% of you couldn't answer that. And that's why you ain't ready to get married. Because you don't know who the heck you are or where you're going. And say, let's hook up. And where are we going? I don't know. The blind leading the blind. And we both fall into a ditch called divorce. You can say this with me. I can know God's will for my life. And I will know God's will for my life. Don't be unwise, but understand and know this is God's will. I didn't know all of God's will. You don't need to know everything, but you need to know the basics of what he's called you to do. Like I knew, I'm called to preach the gospel. That's my calling. Vámonos like Dora the Explorer. Let's go. What are you called to do? I don't know. Well, save souls and start making disciples and start doing God's will. And as you're faithful in the little, God will reveal to you his purposes, his pursuits, and his plans. And now you know God's will. And now you can start looking, are you called to do what I'm called to do? Now we have some options.